Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow reptiles, to my new series known as What Is? And today we're going to be asking the question, what is the Bill of Rights? And we're going to be going through the first 1 through 10 because the first 10 amendments of the Constitution is what makes up the Bill of Rights. What you're looking at right now is a high-quality scan of the United States Bill of Rights, and this was ratified December 15th, 1791. The man who wrote the Bill of Rights was James Madison, and the reason the Bill of Rights was written was to limit governmental power and give us more personal freedoms as citizens of the United States of America. One of the most interesting things that I find about the Bill of Rights is that how heavily, even to this very modern day, that it is still debated and argued among many people. But I'm just going to flat out just tell you exactly what they are. No debate. I'm not going to give you my own interpretations of what these amendments include. Rather, I'm going to state them as how they actually follow. So the First Amendment deals with the freedom of religion and the right to exercise free speech, assembly, petition, our right to petition the government. It essentially grants us freedom for many different things, including petitioning our government if we see so fit, exercising religious freedom or participating in religion. If you don't want to be religious, you don't have to. You don't have to worship a specific god. The ability to exercise free speech, you can give your opinion without getting in trouble. And finally, for people to come to assemble and have a peaceful protest. The Second Amendment is a very simple one. It grants us the right to bear arms. This was actually created for the main purpose of defending ourselves from the British, but it essentially establishes that we can in fact protect ourselves by owning a gun. The Third Amendment is known as the Quartering Amendment, and I don't really see as this one as relevant as previous amendments. However, this one specifically states that the government cannot force the military or people to stay in our house. Essentially, basically, during the American Revolution, the government made military soldiers stay at citizens' homes, and therefore this amendment grants us the ability to not have the government to force the military to stay in our homes. The Fourth Amendment is known as search and seizure. So what this means is that the police cannot automatically just barge into your home and take things that do not belong to them. They can't go around in your personal property. Likewise, they can't go into your vehicles and search your vehicles unless they have probable cause or they actually have a search warrant. Of course, this is one of those amendments that is constantly under fire at what police officers can do if you give them consent or permission to do so. But one of the biggest areas that I'm still not very sure about is, do you own your private social networks, your Facebook? Are these things actually protected? Do you need a search warrant for a police officer or people to get on my Facebook and see that if I made particular threats or said certain things? I don't know. But what it does do is protect your home from illegal search and seizures of your property. The Fifth Amendment deals with what is known as due process, and I'm sure you've heard this in many, many films and movies and on television when somebody is sitting in a courtroom and they say, "I plead the Fifth." Well, that actually is referring to, well, the Fifth Amendment. And the Fifth Amendment basically states that you do not have to stand on witness against yourself if you've already incriminated yourself. The Sixth and Seventh Amendment both deal with legal issues. More specifically, the Sixth Amendment deals with a right to have a fair and speedy trial, although I would probably disagree with a speedy trial because a lot of trials take sometimes months to even years to even happen. Basically, what this is designated for is to keep someone who's been accused of a crime from sitting in prison for years upon years upon years upon years upon years upon years upon years, and then eventually being prosecuted for their crimes. It also grants them the right to hire a lawyer and the right to have an impartial jury. The Seventh Amendment deals with an impartial jury, which allows 12 people to get up and vote, essentially, and discuss evidence and things of within the courtroom on whether you are innocent or guilty, rather than a judge picking up the hammer and doing a smack and giving you your sentence. The Eighth Amendment deals with probably one of the most controversial of them all, and this deals with the death penalty. No cruel and unusual punishment. Some states allow the death penalty, other states do not. But ultimately, my question would be in regards to this is, what is considered cruel and unusual? Is it considered cruel to kill someone through the death penalty of who's murdered innocent children or who has raped multiple different people? Is it really cruel and unusual to have the death penalty for someone like this? And finally, the 9th and 10th Amendment are all clumped kind of together into one, and these are actually known as the non-rights amendment. They don't deal with rights, rather more specifically they deal with rights that are actually not in the Bill of Rights. It also grants states, individual states in the United States of America, to make their own policies. For example, the state of Oregon does not have tax, while the state of Washington does. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow reptiles. This has been What is the Bill of Rights? I hope that you've learned something about these. Sadly, I have to say that I think a lot of public schools today in the 21st century, we are not teaching children these vital, important parts of American history. And a lot of people don't know what the Constitution is. They don't know what the Bill of Rights are. They don't even know when the American Revolutionary War or, you know, really important things about America. I feel as if it's being dumbed down in the public schooling system of today. In any case, I hope this video was educational to some degree. Maybe you knew all these, maybe you didn't, I don't know. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Daniel Solzbach, also known as Mr. Repzion. And before I forget, please leave a comment down below asking me what video you would like to see next in my What Is series. What is determinism? What is theology? What is this? What is that? Feel free to leave a comment down below on what you would like to see next, and the top rated comment may in fact be the next What Is video.